Bu programa. Tabii. Bak kaç kişi var burada.
Oktyabrın önce ele alacağız. Yani oktyabrın biri ele alacağız. Yani sentyabr.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, or maybe good morning for someone, or good evening even.
Good evening, everyone from Pakistan.
Good evening.
Good afternoon.
Guys, how are you, brother?
Good, brother Ramil. You are looking very young today.
Thank you. Thank you. The same to you.
Everybody is too fresh.
Yes.
Looking forward for a great meeting with Mr. President. Huh?
Inshallah, yes.
Inshallah.
In 1 minute, we will have our meeting. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, dear colleagues, dear friends. Thank you for joining us today. Welcome to the 5th meeting of the COP29 NGO Coalition. I'm Parvana Valiyeva, Executive Director of Support to Health NGO, which is an admitted NGO by UNFCCC, and I'm a board member of Azerbaijan National NGO Forum. We would like to welcome warmly the newly joined civil society organizations to our coalition. After your joining, we have now 265 organizations from 60 countries represented our coalition. We wish you a success and hope you will make a great contribution to our coalition, to COP29 processes. Also, our coalition can contribute to your organization's meaningful engagement at COP29, fostering friendly dialogue in a friendly environment between the presidency and the worldwide NGOs in order to achieve more inclusive COP that represent interests of all non-party stakeholders and constituencies. We are stronger together, and we can achieve our goals only by multi-stakeholder approach. Also, I would like to congratulate the newly accredited organizations by UNFCCC as observers. As their names recently show up on the list of admitted NGOs on UNFCCC official website, including my organization. We wish you a good luck in your new position, your status you gained. Today, we have honored guests in our meeting. Let me introduce them to you. Mr. Mukhtar Babayev, COP29 President-Designate. Thank you for joining us today. COP29 high-level champion, Arpadarai. Thank you for joining us, dear Mrs. Higar. COP29 youth champion, Mrs. Leila Hassanova, and point of contact for UNFCCC observer organizations, Mr. Shahriyar Hajiev. Thank you very much for taking your time, for being with us today, and being ready to address directly to our devoted members of our coalition, our friends. Now, I would like to inform our participants on some technical issues in order to organize your smooth participation, your interaction in our meeting before giving the floor to our speakers. This meeting is being recorded, and the recording is for internal use. If you don't mind, we will take some screenshots in the meeting for the media. And so we can ask you to switch your camera in order our colleague can take some screenshots for the media. You can switch your camera now for 5 minutes, if you don't mind. The meeting report will be shared with you right after the meeting. If it is all right with you, we have we appreciate your time. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
Good afternoon.
Excuse me, Parvana, I just want to ask everyone who is not speaking now. While not speaking, please unmute yourself and so we can hear Parvana clearly. Thank you so much. Yes, it is a kind reminder. If you don't have any interruptions, please unmute yourself. Mute yourself. So, and we asked you to switch your camera for the screenshots for the media. If you don't mind, you can switch it now, and then you can turn off it. As we have limited time, we highly appreciate if you raise your hands right now, if you have any questions, suggestions, or comments to our speakers, so that we can note your name and give the floor to you in a queue in the end of this meeting during Q&A session. We strongly encourage our participants to keep their time within 2 minutes, while they having the floor during Q&A session, so that we can have enough time for the speakers to answer the questions. If you don't get any opportunity in case to speak, do not worry. You can send your questions to our email. My colleague will share on the chat our email, and we will forward the answers of the speakers to you later on. If English is not your native language, you can use Russian and Turkish as well. Our speakers can speak on in both languages, in Russian and Turkish. They can answer your questions.
Yes,
Translation is not available, unfortunately, but we invite you all to interact with each other, with our speakers during the session. Now it is my pleasure to give the floor to our COP29 President-Designate, Your Excellency, Mr. Mukhtar Babayev. Dear Babayev, can you hear us? The floor is yours.
Hear me? Parvana Khanum.
Yes, yes, we hear you well. Welcome.
Dear colleagues, dear friends, dear brothers and sisters, good evening. I don't know what the time in your country, but thanks for your joining.
Good evening, Your Excellency.
It's an honor to join you to discuss the critical issue of inclusivity and local communities in the fight against climate change. Excuse me. Can you mute your microphones? Parvana Khanum, please announce regarding the microphones.
Dear participants, if you don't have any floors, please mute yourself. Thank you.
COP29 presidency thanks our host, the Azerbaijan National NGO Forum, for your work to bring us all together. We are deeply grateful for the formation of the COP29 NGO Coalition, bringing together so many NGOs from 60 countries and more, and providing the COP29 presidency with a focal point for engagement with the civil society. I would like to use this as a chance to congratulate our friend from Republic of Tajikistan with the Day of Independence of the country. محترم دوست، شما رو با مناسبت روزی استقلالیت دولت تاجیکستان تماما تبریکی مبارک بود منویم. روزی استقلالیت مبارک باشد. We understand that previous meetings of this coalition with a high-level champion, Madame Nigar Arparadai, and youth climate champion, Madame Leila Hassanova, have provided the COP29 presidency with the valuable inputs. And I now look forward to hearing from you directly. As you know, inclusivity is a critical ingredient for a successful negotiation process. We are determined to provide every possible opportunity for everyone to have their voices heard. We recognize the important role of environmental activists, as your dedication and passion have moved climate activism into the spotlight. We recognize the important role of environmental activists as your dedication and passion, as Azerbaijan takes on the responsibility of bringing the world together to deliver the important items on these agendas. The support that you have built around the world for ambitious climate action is essential. Over the past months, we have engaged with communities and NGOs across the world, listening to your challenges and solutions firsthand. We have been committed to transparency and taken every opportunity to present the plan for COP29. As you know, we have published an open letter to parties, constituencies, and observers to detail the presidency's vision to enhance ambition and enable action at COP29. We will shortly be published a further letter detailing the COP29 action agenda and range of initiatives Sorry, are you hearing me?
Yes.
Okay. We will shortly be publishing a further letter detailing the COP29 action agenda and a range of initiatives to accelerate climate action, with information on how civil society can contribute and participate. In multilateral forums, such as at Bonn, the COP29 presidency has had intensive engagements with constituencies and NGOs, and we have many meetings planned on sidelines of the upcoming UN General Assembly. We have established the Friends of the COP29 Presidency Forum to focus on the negotiations and asked each constituency to appoint 2 points of contact. During bilateral trips to countries around the world, from Pacific to the Caribbean and from Pakistan to Congo, we listened to so many members of civil society standing on the front lines of the climate crisis. They are all clearly ready and capable to offer their positive contribution to the process, and we want to make that possible. Our colleagues from the COP29 operating company are working hard to ensure that COP29 is a gender-responsive venue and an inclusive and productive space for NGOs. At Bonn, we represented an operational update, and we will be providing a further briefing to media on the latest preparation very shortly. We are pleased to announce that we will be providing a dedicated space for civil society. This space will serve as a hub for discussions, networking, and showcasing the work of civil society organizations. Dear friends, dear colleagues, to enable action, the negotiating priority for the COP29 presidency is a new goal on climate finance. You know it very well. This will be the first major finance goal since the Paris Agreement, and it will be a moment of trust for global cooperation. This week, we are hosting meetings with technical experts and the parties in Azerbaijan to make progress towards a draft negotiating framework. We are also very interested to hear from all groups on your views on the future of climate finance and how we can best meet the needs of communities. To enhance ambition, we are supporting the parties as they develop the next generation of climate plans and calling on them to reach for the highest possible ambition. We also want parties to consult with civil society, because the best way to deliver inclusive results is to run inclusive processes. We also want to hear your views on other mandates and priorities, from the Lima Work Program on Gender to the Just Transition Work Program. Dear friends, dear colleagues, thank you for your dedication, passion, and strong commitment to our planet and its people. We look forward to working closely with all of you as we prepare for COP29 and beyond. In forums such as this, we hope to bridge the gap between policy and on-the-ground initiatives. Everyone is welcome at COP29 because everyone is needed. Our team wants to hear from you about your concerns and priorities for COP29 and to answer any questions that you may have. We look forward to our discussions, and I would like to ask Parvana Khanum to continue this session. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you. Thank you very much, dear Mr. President, for your strong statement. And thank you for your dedication, considering and supporting our civil society organizations. Thank you for your leadership and your kind partnership, your kind approach. We have already some participants raised their hands. Please make sure that in the end of this meeting, during Q&A session, we will give the floor to you and you will have 2 minutes. We have 2 minutes for each our speakers. Now, I would like to give the floor to our UN high-level champion, COP29 champion, Mrs. Nigar Arpadaray. Nigar, can you hear us? I think Nigar is not in the meeting right now. Maybe after another speaker, we can invite her. I would like to give the floor our youth champion, Ms. Leila Hassanova. Please, Leila, the floor is yours. Please take the opportunity to speak.
Hi, everyone. Hi. Hello. I think me and Nigar Khanum just struggled with unmuting ourselves. So I would first of all yield the floor to Nigar Khanum, if it's possible, because there was some technical error, and then I will take the floor. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's working now. Parvana Khanum, thank you so much, dear ladies and gentlemen, dear friends. Thank you so much for having us. It's a great honor for us to be addressing this session with you. We are just 60 days to COP29. We are extremely excited, and we strongly believe that the success of COP depends on all of us together. So my role is the role of high-level champion, and as the high-level champion, my role is to engage with non-state actors, with non-party stakeholders, including civil society, NGOs, private sector, philanthropies, cities, academia. So I'm really honored to have all these groups having their voices heard. We will try to make sure that they are all being part of conversations at COP29. So we have a great momentum now. We are working with all of our stakeholders. Private sector is also one of the priorities, and we are trying to make sure that they are being aligned and they have their contribution to NCQG, to climate finance. Dear civil society members, we have, as I said, just 60 days to COP, so it's important for us to be in a close cooperation with you. We have a number of milestones. We will be all of us together as the presidency team traveling to New York, and we will be looking forward to meeting some of you at New York Climate Action Week. I will be co-hosting a special event together with my co-champion, with Razan Al-Mubarak, on indigenous peoples, so we will be happy to see you there. We will also, right after New York Climate Action Week, we will have first time in the history of our region Baku Climate Action Week. So we would like also to be open, to give a platform to both civil society members and private sector to share their voices and to participate in different conversations that will be happening in parallel. We will have thematic days there. We have energy, water, agriculture, SMEs, green skills. This is our milestone that we plan to do. Right after that, we have COP, we have pre-COP, which is also another milestone for us to having a dialogue with you. So inclusivity is a key message for us. We have at every occasion that we have during all of our travels, we do meet with civil society, with NGOs, regardless of the facts, whether these are the registered UNFCCC constituency or not. For us, it's important to have your feeling, have your expectations from COP29, see what you expect from us, see what are the contributions that you can make. So that's why we will be working and we will continue this dialogue with you, dear civil society members, dear NGOs. It's also important for us to have Azerbaijani civil society members being in close coordination with international communities to have common agenda. So we are all here in front of you, ready to answer your questions. For me, another main milestone is we are working with the team to find impact makers from all over the world. This is one of the campaigns that we will be launching very soon, because individual stories of people who actually made an impact with their efforts, with their contributions, with their enthusiasm is important for us. So we will be also supporting SMEs in this direction. There is very much agenda on the table, so lots of things that will be happening, but for us, it's important to have your voices heard. So I will stop here and hand over and ask Leila to join to speak about youth engagement, and we are all of us here to answer your questions.
Hi, dear friends. Once again, thank you so much, Nigar Hanım, for yielding the floor. It's a pleasure to join you all today. And it's my utmost pleasure to address once again this amazing gathering. As the COP29 Youth Climate Champion, I have had valuable opportunities to engage with children and youth, both locally in Azerbaijan and worldwide. As a testament of youth inclusion in Azerbaijan, we have been chairing the non-aligned movement for the past 4 years, and by the decree of the president, the non-aligned movement youth organization was established. This showcases the opportunities that we built for not only Azerbaijani youth, but for the youth from all around the globe, for specifically the non-aligned movement, which includes 121 member states. To ensure that we are included as we youth are included as we continue to seek shared solutions to the very real threats posed by climate change. In my role, it's my duty to facilitate the enhancement of the meaningful, inclusive engagement of children and youth in climate action. I am convinced that youth can and must play a key role in climate action by pushing societies and decision makers to keep our climate promises and developing the innovative solutions we need to reach our climate goals. Last year, this amazing role was established due to the efforts posed by COP26, COP27, and COP28, and now we are continuing this momentum, and we are trying to include as much as possible young people, the children's voices to this process. My role as president is to amplify the voices of youth, and we are convening and creating spaces for children and youth to share their views, concerns, and hopes for how their governments and businesses will step up to challenge and how they can actually contribute to the action that is needed. Another essential element of the role is about enhancing education, which we also try to support by COP29 presidency. We have hosted a summer climate change summer camp in August for young educators, so that they can educate their children and young people in their respective countries. Children and youth have a right to know about what and why climate change happens. So I'm confident that greater participation of youth and children in this process will ensure a more inclusive approach that can only strengthen our long-term planning and ensure that the commitments that we do lead to action. And there is no doubt in my mind that youth are the greatest accountability mechanism that we have. And I'm looking forward to your support as well, so that hand in hand, we can together support meaningful youth and children inclusion. Thank you so much.
Thank you, dear Leila. Thank you for your speech and statement to our coalition members. We know that in these days, some observer NGOs, some of our friends are in Baku in order to participate for the 11th Technical Expert Dialogue and third meeting under the ad hoc work program on NCQG on climate finance. Also, Azerbaijan will host in these months the next board meeting of Loss and Damage Fund, where our friends also will be there to participate in this meeting in either Babayev Center. We also extend our good luck, our wish to our colleagues that are in Baku now for these important events, meetings. Now I would like to give the floor our next speaker, point of contact for UNFCCC observer organizations, Mr. Shahryar Hajiev. Let me unmute him. Dear Shahryar, the floor is yours, please.
Thank you, Parvana Khanım. I would like to greet you all and thank you for your time for participation in this meeting. I would like to thank the Azerbaijan National NGO Forum for organizing this event and inviting the COP29 presidency. It's nice to see that foreign and local Azerbaijani NGOs coming together and discussing global climate action issues and establishing fruitful cooperation. From the very early days of the process, Azerbaijan has announced inclusivity, impartiality, and transparency as the guiding principles for our presidency, and we are committed at each stage of these principles. Being assigned with the task of functioning as the point of contact for observer organizations, I am dealing with the task of listening and hearing the views of NGOs, how it would be possible for them to participate and contribute to the COP29 and overall the global climate action. And I would like to note that the COP29 presidency in the monthly calls, bilateral engagements, and newly established friends of the COP29 presidency is open to the cooperation issues with the NGOs. And in our last monthly call, we have discussed all the issues relating to negotiations and also logistics. Our organizations can also get updates from their relevant constituency focal points. And it's nice to see that in this NGO coalition, not only the UNFCCC admitted organizations, but also those that do not have observer status gathered together. And I hope there will be opportunities for them also to contribute to the COP process, whether be it in blue zone or the green zone. And we hope that this coalition can contribute and give the way to those that do not have observer status to participate and contribute to the COP process. And I would like also to note that being committed to the inclusivity principle, the COP29 presidency has spared a free of charge space in the form of cross-constituency hub. The constituency members and other organizations can use and administer the hub for promoting the issues relating to climate action by exhibitions, by side events, and other advocacy actions. And relating to participation, we also would like to encourage the NGOs that do not have observer status to learn the procedures from the UNFCCC Secretariat. There can be other possibilities for them. For example, by cooperation, they can receive quotas from international partners, and by this they can receive badges and participate at COP29. Thank you again for your time, and we are here to listen to you, to listen to your needs and priorities, and to look into how we can accommodate them. Thank you.
Thank you, dear Hajiev, for making your statement. And we have a suggestion for our coalition members in order to make our communication with you easier and making building more closer partnership with you. We suggest our members to dividing them into different working groups. Like women and gender, youth, climate justice, environmental climate working groups, and etc. One of these working group is already launched, and our colleague Mariam Majidova already have some initiative on these communications with UNFCCC NGO constituency, especially with women and gender constituency. And now I would like to give the floor to Mariam, my colleague, to give some information about this working group and what they are going to plan with women and gender organizations during COP29.
Thank you, Parvana, and dear colleagues. It's a great honor to be in the space where so many civil society organizations gather together. We can feel already the power of this participation, and this will give us a lot of perspective on how COP29 will be and its outcomes on well-being of different segments of population, especially people representing disadvantaged groups such as women and girls, young people, people with disabilities, indigenous people, people representing rural areas, and other vulnerable groups that I didn't mention earlier. So I represent the COP29 organizing committee, mainly responsible for gender and at the same time diversity issues, and we would like to partner with all of you for parallel events and side events. And so far I've been in contact with Women and Gender constituency, and we're planning to capitalize on different pre-COP, COP and post-COP timeline. For example, in October there is a meeting of points happening in Baku, and we are planning to organize parallel events, meeting with other feminist and youth organizations, gender equality champions, and women NGOs working on human rights and women rights in Baku and also in the regions of Azerbaijan. And furthermore, we also plan to offer our office space and other logistical and technical support for international partners who are working on gender and youth issues. So in case any of you would like to organize parallel event, I know that it's very challenging to organize side event due to restrictions in the blue zone, but if you are interested to organize events in the green zone as well as in different office spaces across the city, we're more than happy to have you on board as partners. In addition to that, international cooperation is one of the key milestones for fostering the impact of COP29, and our organization, in a partnership with Pan-African Climate Justice Union, is planning to organize a side event this September during the Summit of the Future Action Days in New York. And if any of you is already traveling, we'll be more than happy to have you on board with us. And you'll be welcome to participate and place your voices regarding the climate justice and the diversity and inclusion and gender equality. And during the summit in New York, we are also happy to organize separate meetings with you to get to know you personally and professionally, and to plan more of the activities in the upcoming 2 months and also in post-COP period, because COP is already 2 months away, but we also want to look forward and beyond COP29 on the cooperation of international partners, and also making sure that gender equality and youth participation, diversity and inclusion are key priorities across different multi-sectoral topics which are going to be discussed during COP and beyond. Thank you very much. Thank you, Parvana, for the flow.
Thank you very much, dear Mariam. And now the floor is for participants who raised their hands. Firstly, Mr. Kaiser Nawab from Pakistan, he raised his hand, and the floor is yours, please. Let me unmute yours. You can speak now.
Thank you, Ms. Parvana, and thank you all the colleagues, and very warm welcome and good evening from Islamabad, Pakistan. Dear President Mukhtar Babayev, esteemed colleagues and NGO Coalition members, first I would like to express my deep admiration for the leadership of His Excellency President Ilham Aliyev of Azerbaijan who serves as a role model for many of us. His visionary leadership is inspiring, and Azerbaijan's growing role on the global stage, especially in addressing climate challenges, make us immensely proud. President Babayev, I extend my heartfelt appreciation for your remarkable leadership as COP29 President and Azerbaijan's commitment to hosting this critical event. Your memorable visit to Pakistan and the tree you planted in our office continues to thrive, symbolizing the lasting brotherhood between our nations. I also want to recognize the efforts of Mr. Ramil, Mr. Parwana, and all the team of NGO Coalition for amplifying the voices of civil society, particularly from the Global South in the COP29 processes. As the leader of the global outreach and youth engagement at COP in my city 2024, we dedicated to localizing COP impact in Pakistan in different cities. We aim to bring 10 youth delegates to COP29 in Baku, but we have observed that blue zone passes are very limited this year. If possible, that the presidency and I request your support in securing these passes for these young delegates. It would also be an honor if we could arrange a meeting between these young delegates and you and during the event. Lastly, I extend the best wishes of Pakistan to our brother country, Azerbaijan. We are thrilled to witness Azerbaijan's dynamic leadership and active role on the global stage. Seeing our brother excel make us incredibly happy and proud. Thank you for your leadership and support. We look forward to contributing actively to COP29. Thank you.
Thank you, dear Kaiser, for your solidarity message and your supporting messages to us, to our COP29 presidency. Now I would like to give the floor to our next participant who raised his hand, Vladimir Grebnev from KEKIK. Let me unmute.
Thank you very much, Parvana. I'm a representative Regional Environment Center of Central Asia. This is the first organization, first NGO from the Central Asian countries, which is accredited as an observer in UNCCC, and we are within the last several years supporting countries on participation on COP events, starting from COP26, organizing Central Asian Pavilion COP28, and now we are working in collaboration with Central Asian country to ensure engagement of civil society in the COP activities. And I'm very proud that Azerbaijan organized such excellent NGO coalition and gives the floor to all participants. But I have the question to Mr. Hajiev. I hope he's with us on how will civil society be involved in development of drafts of COP29 declaration, and how the will NGO engagement in blue zone will be ensured, taking into account that green zone located outside of the main communications. Thank you.
Thank you, dear Vladimir, for your question. Maybe we can take one more question from our participants, then Mr. Hajiev can answer the question. Now I would like to give the floor to Aniede Inyang. Let me unmute you, dear Aniede. You can speak now.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Hello.
Yes,
Hello,
we hear
good
you now.
afternoon. I want to thank you, the host, for this opportunity. in solidarity, the world. I want to thank the president, us in this meeting. I want to thank this NGO and all the committee members. Good afternoon. My question is, my name is Aniedi Iyan. I am from Nigeria. My NGO is NMS Foundation. I am a member of AfriHealth and also the secretary of the Global Consortium Advisory Committee preparing for the COP. I want to thank you for all the efforts and all what you're putting forward to ensure that we have a hitch-free and a result-oriented COP. But I want to ask, because up till today, we that does not have the observer status with the UNFCCC, we have not been able to access any of the forum. And I want to ask, in this meeting, we have heard about the Friends of the COP, where organizations are asked to nominate two persons. So I thought that we're going to talk about that here so that we know which of the organizations are going to nominate the person and how we can fit in, because we really want to come to the COP. We've heard about the people that are working with the youth and the women. Most of us are doing that. And we've been expecting that collaborations. And we will so much love if we are integrated into such groups so that we'll be able to lend a voice and also use our wealth of experience dealing with the vulnerable communities and the youth, especially in the sub-Saharan Africa, where we can also put forward a voice in this negotiation so that we'll have also a take on this scope development. Thank you so much.
Thank you, dear Anidi. We have enough time for taking all questions who raised their hands, and we will allocate 15 minutes for our speakers in the end to answer all questions addressed to them. Now I would like to give the floor to Dr. Uzodinma for his speech, and let me unmute yourself, Doctor. You can speak now.
Thank you. Thank you, Parvana. Thank you, Chair of the Coalition. Thank you, COP29 President, for your nice speech. Greetings from AfriHealth Upnet Association and the Global Consortium of Society and Non-State Actors on Climate Change and Conference of the Parties. I bring you greetings on behalf of our members. Now, early in the first quarter of this year, I would say we are among the first set of people across the world that sent our solidarity, made public identification with the COP presidency and the people of and good government of Azerbaijan on the hosting of COP presidency. We look forward to, as we requested and hope, complete engagement in all the processes that civil society have been about. We represent more than 3,000 civil society organizations from all the continents of the world across more than 117 countries. So it is important also that, as the Excellency Ramil and the rest of us know, that we also get involved. We are already calling ourselves Friends of the COP. We've acted as Friends of the COP, and we look forward to also being identified, accepted, and involved as Friends of the COP. You guys have done great work. The preparation for this COP has been marvelous. Engagement has been top-notch, and we continue to improve on this. However, we have a concern that a good number of our members are not yet able to get accredited to the COP. Being registered by UNFCCC is one major challenge, but we also think that not being registered would not be an impediment, especially for organizations that have already submitted application and are waiting the kind consideration of UNFCCC to register them. You know that when you submit these applications, approval does not depend on you. It depends on the UNFCCC and its considerations. So we are thinking that it will look like leaving some people behind if, because they are not fully yet accredited by UNFCCC, they are left out of this. We want to pray and appeal any way it can be considered to make this more inclusive and let organizations that are not yet UNFCCC accredited, but who have shown interest through application to UNFCCC and are waiting UNFCCC's approval to be given a leeway to participate in the COP. That is also a good way up. Thank you, Excellencies, and greetings to all members of AHUA and GCS-CCC that are here. Thank you, great ones. Congratulations, Parvana. Congratulations, Ramil. Congratulations, Goshan, and the rest of the team. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you very much. Now I would like to give the floor to Kamal Esekari. He's here with his nickname, I think. Let me unmute.
Hi there. Should I put the, okay, I'm going to put the video on, right? Is everyone seeing me? Yes?
Yes, yes. You
You
look
hear me?
good.
Okay.
Yes.
Great. Thank you very much. My name is Kamel. I've been involved with my good friend, the Chair Umud Mirzayev, the chair of the International Eurasia Press Fund for the last 10 years in issue related to climate change. Our combination of different background has led us to do some work at the level of 3 continents. That is Africa, as I am Tunisian, but I worked as Director of Social Affairs at the Africa Union Commission in Addis Ababa, and therefore I created an organization across Africa about renewable energy and energy efficiency. We also partner with Dean Gustav Grob from the President of International Sustainable Energy Organization. My intervention here is just to show that people of my age, of the age of Umud, etc., can combine with youngster in order to pass knowledge, experience, and to adapt to a very fast-moving threat. Many issues related to climate, like crops, like security on the shores, coastal zone management, and so forth. So please, for the organizer, I would like you to take into account this. You have a very good person called Chair Umud Mirzayev, who can tell more and can create a group for people like us from all across the world in order to bring in what we did over the last 25, 30 years and make it available to new people for whom we have worked when we were youngster. I would like also to congratulate Azerbaijan for this COP and for the nomination of the new president and all the team. And I hope that we keep in touch via email after this session, because the last session we didn't have a feedback. Please, let's go via email. I don't mind phone number as long as they are WhatsApp, but let's be practical and bring into Baku all our experience and our know-how. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, dear Mr. Kamal. And I would like just stress about Azerbaijan nation always respect older people. It is our attitude, it is our tradition that we always care about old people. And of course, as young people, we always need old people's experience, their extensive knowledge, and I think your role is vital in climate action as well. Thank you for your intervention and your question. Now I would like to give the floor to our next participant who raised his hand. Taha. Let me unmute you. The floor is yours. You can speak.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. I would like to thank you for giving me this opportunity. And I would like to thank International Urussia Press Fund and it is preeminent President Ahmoud. And I would like also to thank Azerbaijan for hosting and organizing this an international timely and significant conference. So in my capacity as a accredited journalist of the United Nations, I have been following the COP29 in Marrakesh, and I was invited to go to AEU, United Arab Emirates, but unfortunately, I had another opportunity. This opportunity to participate in Baku, I think this is for me is a good chance to add something. So I am also a president of Geneva Global Media in Geneva, in the United Nations. And so my question, do you have any plan to orient or to train students and youth on this conference, on disasters effect on the impact of the climate change? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, dear Taha, for your question. In order to keep our time, now I would like to give the floor to our next speaker, next participant who raised hand, Kosivi. We will give the floor to all participants who raised hands. We will try our best to answer the questions as well in the end. Let me unmute you. You can speak now.
I hope you can, you can hear me now. Thank you so much. First of all, I want to thank the president of the COP, Mr. Mukhtar Babayev, for his time and his commitment to really be close to the CSOs. The second one, I want to commend really the effort of Mr. Ramil and Pavana for keeping the momentum since the beginning of this process. I have some very direct and straightforward questions, which I would like to ask. First of all, I've heard Mr. President saying that the COP is the COP of inclusion. And we know that currently we are experiencing a restriction which we've never seen in the COPs before. UNFCCC is saying clearly that Azerbaijan wants to organize a small COP. Unfortunately, those who are paying the heavy burden of that decision are the civil society organization mainly. I would like to appeal for the support of the presidents of the COP to really facilitate if we want to organize something inclusive. If we don't want to leave anyone behind, then please support the inclusion of all by facilitating the participation of the civil society organization. That's my first recommendation, my first appeal. The second one is a question. So, Mr. President, is there any formal channel where civil society organization can share their policy notes with you at the presidents? Because we believe that once you receive the policy notes, you'll find the way with your team to spread them and to make sure that all the national delegates from the different countries acknowledge the content and, if possible, integrate it, approve it, and make of it a policy. My last intervention is generally about the role of the local actors. Mr. President, you know that the last week we got the third meeting of the global board of the Santiago Network on Loss and Damage, where we are really working to catalyze the access to the resources to reduce the impact of climate change, the adverse impact of climate change on local communities. Unfortunately, local communities who are the forefront of this impact are almost absent from the plans, from the different plans. And we, as Global Network for Disaster Reduction, that's the organization I'm working for, we would like to see the fund on loss and damage directly accessible to local communities. Is there any way we can ask the president of the COP to champion this process and to make sure that the loss and damage fund becomes finally accessible, directly accessible, and sufficiently flexible for those who are at the forefront of the climate change to really benefit? The end of the end, Mr. President, what is the strategy in place to bolster the positive outcome of the climate finance? Is there any strategy that your country is developing to really bolster the finance issue? Because we know by experience that countries are very sensitive on finance and generally don't give easy way to go. So is there any mechanism you have in place to facilitate this? Thank you so much again for this commitment, and yeah, over to you.
Thank you very much, dear Kosivi, for your number of questions. I hope we will have time to answer all your questions in the end. Now, I would like to give the floor our next speaker, our friend from Kenya, Peter Obiti, who raised hand. Peter, the floor is yours. Let me unmute you.
Thank you very much, colleagues, and thank you, Your Excellency, the host of COP29. We are very proud of you and the arrangement so far, and we are so happy to hear that for the first time, communities and civil society are getting 7 out of the 8 budgets that they appeared, that they applied for. And that is a demonstration on how committed Your Excellency is to make COP29 very successful and inclusive. My question is on the budgets that have been given to the 7 out of 8 applicants, that how, at what time will we be able to know those civil societies who have been given the budgets, so that we link up with them and help them to influence the negotiations, so that the civil society are also, views are also shared during that negotiation, because we don't want it to be just a political issue. We want to see the human face in the negotiation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, dear Peter. Now I would like to give the floor to our next speaker, Dea Akogun from Dea News from Nigeria. You can speak now.
All right, thank you very much for having me on this program. First of all, I want to greet the Honorable President-Designate, Mukhtar Babayev, esteemed delegates and distinguished guests. My name is Daria Kogun from Nigeria, an energy transition journalist, and also a founder of DA News Media Advocacy for Climate Literacy and Justice. And on behalf of DA News Media Advocacy, I would like to express my sincere gratitude for your leadership in steering the global climate agenda as the COP29 President-Designate. Also, the Azerbaijan NGO Coalition under the leadership of Mr. Ramil, and also to Pavana, the Executive Director, co-founder, Environmental Protection, and board member of a National NGO Forum. The high-level dialogue on climate transparency held in Baku last week is a testament to your commitment to enhancing global cooperation on climate action and also fostering inclusivity in the fight against climate change. So I want to commend the bold steps that have been taken by the COP29 presidency to ensure climate transparency and inclusivity. Then furthermore, the decision to allocate a larger share of attendance badges to NGOs. I was reading the news 2 days ago, especially from developing countries.
Dave, can you hear us? You are freezing now. You can turn off your camera and continue. Dave? I think he lost the connection with us. No problem. He can write his question on our email to us, and we can send the answer to him later. Now I would like to give the floor to Sanaullah from Pakistan, who raised hand and waiting for a long time here. The floor is yours. Let me unmute you. The next speaker will be Cecil Alvarez.
Thank you very much. At first, I would like to express my gratitude to Mr. Ramil Parwana and the NGO Coalition for this opportunity. And I would like to take this opportunity and ask a question to His Excellency, the President of 29. As one of our speakers also talked about the youth engagement, I also want to know about the opportunities available for youth during the COP29 session and what initiatives or platforms will be provided for young people to engage with and contribute to the conference outcome. And I am honored to represent the Pakistan Youth Organization in this session. And also request to the other civil society organization is they can also...
Sorry, Sana, can you a bit high in volume, high up your volume?
Okay.
Can't hear you
So
well.
I would also request the civil society organization, they can also, can they accommodate, because some of our speakers discussed about the challenge they face about the registration in the blue zone. So can the other civil society organization which have the status, accredited observation status in the UNFCCC, they can accommodate the other civil society for the participation in the blue zone? Thank you.
Thank you, Sana, for your question. Our speakers noted your questions. We are running out of time. And here we have one representative of a non-governmental organization who has a disability. She represents here Philippines, Cecil Alvarez. I would like to give the last floor to her in order to keep our inclusivity. You can speak.
Thank you very
Speak.
much.
Continue, please.
Okay. Thank you for the opportunity, and Azerbaijan, we are very grateful for your care to engage civil society and vulnerable groups. We come from a very vulnerable small island archipelagic states which are hit by 20 typhoons that are really devastating. And what we would like to appeal, I am an artist, and we have seen how we can transform people and inform them and motivate them through the use of techno arts. Under UNESCO patronage, we had undertaken SDGs Resiliart events, and we hope that Baku can be a major spine for the campaign to use effective cultural communications, to embrace all sectors, to understand science. And if we can do this as an arts Olympics, in the same manner that communication is given and support from government, where visually, emotionally, we can hit the minds and the hearts of the people to understand the problem and know what are the effective pathways to resolve and diffuse the ecological time bomb. Baku will really be able not just for financial support, but for effective cultural communications. It must be relevant, it must be culture-based, it must be in language people understand, and we must expand the consciousness to empathize, to care, and to really stop violence against mankind and Mother Earth. And the arts can really hit the hearts of people to motivate them to get involved, to feel the sense of kinship, and to cry when there is disaster, otherwise to be happy. Empathy is so necessary, and the values and discipline, even just for cleanup, for stopping the pollution, all this is necessary. And if the president, who is so inspiring when he talks, can take as well the lead for effective cultural communications, dynamic education about climate action, so that we really can understand that we will lose lives, livelihood, homes, everything is going to be gone. We have to act now to save the future. And we're grateful that Baku is taking this historic moment of embracing all sectors. I am blind, but we care, and we can still be handicapable, not handicapped, to offer service to humanity. So thank you, and we hope that the concept of culture can be integrated. Effective climate education. The Earth Savers has the patronage of UNESCO, and we can work very closely with you and the International Theatre Institute, where arts can really conscientize, can really provide the vision of a dignified life. So thank you very much for this opportunity. We hope to continue this concept and to have a positive bomb exploding from Baku that cares for people and planet and fights poverty through our partnerships. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, dear Cecilia. We also highly appreciate our partnership with you and other colleagues, communities who suffer from climate change, our non-governmental organizations in small island countries, our colleagues. Thank you for joining and voice up these problems you directly and live in your country. I think we don't have enough time. We are running out of time, and I would like to give the floor to Mr. Excellency COP29 President-Designate, Mr. Mukhtar Babayev.
Thank you, Parvana Khanum. Thanks for everybody for your very interesting discussions, your questions, your requests regarding the how to make the COP29 process, this big environmental forum in Baku efficient. Thanks for your recommendations. And we have 11 questions or 11 requests from your side, and another 7 our friends and sisters and brothers had not the time to, unfortunately, to deliver their messages and their questions. But Parvana Khanum, if it's possible, please deliver your email address. And we need these voices, we need these questions, and we need their recommendations. We would like to have it as soon as possible to provide the necessity clarification and to give the clarity to all the issues and to support as much as possible as we can. We have several questions, several issues from the different parties, like the additional passes, the questions regarding blue and green zone, regarding the declarations, UNFCCC regulations, the procedures, and unfortunately, you mentioned that some of the parties had not a chance to have the registration still or accreditation still. It is a question we would like to talk more in details with UNFCCC and to try to assist you in this issue. A lot of very good ideas regarding the experience exchange, the youth participation in the process, how to make it more efficient, especially particularly in the countries affected by the disasters, the very vulnerable countries, SEEDs, LDCs, and other countries. The question regarding the small COP, it is very strange for us that we are planning to invite our partners from all the countries to be together with us, and we have no any limitations regarding the participants in Azerbaijan. Again, the policy note regarding the loss and damage operationalization, very important issues. We are working on it. It is very important for COP29 and for all the world to find the decision for this very important issue. Regarding the budget, how the budgeting this, the participation from the parties, the good questions from the youth participation and what kind of the conditions we can provide for youth to be more active in the process of negotiation and participation in the forum. At the same time, our last question and message from Madame Cecilia Alvarez. Thank you very much for your very honest and very interesting speech, interesting message to us regarding the cultural communication, regarding the active role of COP29 team to make this process honest, frank, and to make this cooperation more efficient, more effective, and to targeting the good results of these negotiations. I would like also to give the chance to Shahryar to give the clarification for some issues. Shahryar, please.
Thank you, His Excellency, for giving me the floor. I would like to briefly provide information on some of the questions asked that is directly is under our authority, and this is our function. First of all, about the question relating to COP29 Action Agenda initiatives, I would like to note that the presidency has shared all the drafts with the UNFCCC constituency focal points. The admitted observer organizations can receive them via their respective focal points. And in this regard, I would like to note that the presidency has announced and shared with the admitted organizations the initiative of COP Truth. We value it very much, and already some constituencies, they showed their interest and endorsed the appeal to be made by the COP29 presidency. And regarding engagement, I would like to note that as Mukhtar, His Excellency Mukhtar Babayev noted, we will be sharing a letter regarding action agenda initiatives, and after that, offline consultations will be continued, and I would encourage you to follow the website of the COP29 presidency in order to engage with us and send your amendments, proposals to be considered by the COP29 presidency. And when it comes to the Friends of the COP29 initiatives, this is announced by the letter of July 2024. And we are waiting nominations from the admitted organizations via their respective constituency focal points. So in this regard, I would also encourage you to coordinate this with your respective constituency focal point. Regarding badge issues, unfortunately, this task of assigning badges and quotas are the questions that should be directed to the UNFCCC Secretariat. Azerbaijan, as a country, host country, did its best to build a COP venue in order to accommodate as much as participants to be possible. But when it comes to assigning of individual badges quotas, the UNFCCC Secretariat is responsible and taking care of this issue, and we would like to encourage you to ask these questions and raise these matters before them. But we are also, as the COP29 presidency, receiving such messages, and please be sure that we will be also raising this matter before the Secretariat. When it comes to specific initiatives as noted relating to disaster risk reductions and other specific initiatives, I also would like to encourage you to follow our website. We have our thematic issues announced, and under each thematic phase, there will be side events, different advocacy actions together with states, parties, together with NGOs that will be announced and implemented, and we are ready to collaborate with that. And the presidency will be soon announcing the specific initiatives, events, and we are ready to collaborate on that issues as well. And those who did not have the opportunity, as noted in the chat box, can send their questions, and the National NGO Forum maybe later gather those questions and send it to us for our considerations and replying. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much, Mr. Hajiev. And I would like to give the floor to our honored guest, Mukhtar Babayev, for closing remarks.
Dear friends, dear colleagues, dear sisters and brothers, again, thanks for your support. It was an excellent discussion. And we have today 148 participants, please imagine, from different parts of the world. And I would like to thank the organizers, especially Azerbaijan National NGO Forum office, Parvana Khanum, for you personally, for very good managing of this event. Thanks for all participants for your support, for your engagement. And we are planning to continue this cooperation and engagement with you. And for us, big opportunity to hear your voices, to share with your experience with us. And I think it will be a very good chance for the organizational committee of the National NGO Forum for NGO Forum to organize the next meeting with COP29. Possibly we can do it in different format, and we would like to be to invite all of you to be together in very important and critical time. Thank you very much for your participation. Parvana Khanum, thank you again for you personally. All the best to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, dear Mr. President, for your presence today and your support to our civil society organizations of our coalition. Hope we will have the most inclusive COP ever with participation of all non-stakeholder parties and constituencies and NGOs. And we are looking forward to seeing all of you, non-governmental organizations at COP29. Thank you for your time. Thank you. Bye. Have a nice day.